Good evening. It gives me great pleasure to announce that I am going to stand in the next general election. I will be the prospective candidate for Vauxhall on behalf of the Avant Garde Alliance Party. And of course, when I get into power, there will be a few changes. Reform. I'm going to advocate that you forget everything that your parents have told you or tried to teach you. That you kill the local priests. That indeed you kill all authority figures. I am really advocating a new way of being, a new way of living, a new way of responding. No longer are we going to look to others to tell us how to be. We're really going to be quite grown up this time. The idea that we're constant children looking at these so-called pseudo-faux adult parental figures, they really do have to go. They've had a jolly good run for the money, and it's now time for them to fuck off once and for all. Artistic and homosexual children won't have to go to school. They'll be relocated into the countryside where a stately home will be commandeered and they'll live there.
This is the time of the revolution.
The whole concept of families really needs to be redefined. The idea that you have to live in a house with blood relatives, we're going to blow that out of the water. The idea that, say, a civil partnership or a marriage only contains two people, that also will change. I think it's rather peevish when two people get together and make a very exclusive relationship just for the two of them. I think it's rather peevish, rather selfish, and very ungenerous. What you are going to have to do, if you are in a couple or in a marriage, is start to let other people in. Because when you exclude people, they get full of resentment and they become very violent, and a lot of it can lead to criminality. The reason people are being stabbed to death in the street is because people like you are not welcoming these people into your relationships and into your marriage and into your marital bed. It really is time to grow up and start bringing people in. Oh, I'm really pleased that two people have found each other, and of course the world gives thanks. But wouldn't that be better if it was 200, 2,000, 200,000 people all together? Wouldn't that be a nicer picture? I think so. This'll be legal. Please don't save me from myself. Tackling crime is a very serious subject. What I'm advocating is that rather than people get involved in crime, they get more involved in fucking. Making love to the neighbours, to the friends, family members, the dog. I'm advocating interspecies love. I'm advocating intergenerational sex. I think that it's very important that we reach out and touch our youth. Sometimes these young people don't know what love is. And I think through massage and sensuality and some of the products you can get from places like the Body Shop, you really can connect with the youth and put a smile on their face.
The revolution, keeping it.
We live in times where the media itself is heavily mediated. And again, we're all very conscious that we're living in a projected reality that indeed has no substance whatsoever. I am advocating a very authentic reality, which is all to do with love. Love. It's a four-letter word, like that one beginning with C. And we really need to celebrate our very vibrant LGBTQ community here in this particular geopolitical zone. There's far too little homosexuality on television, there's far too little homosexuality on the radio, in CDs and DVDs. We need to be showing films that promote homosexuality 24 hours a day on every channel on the television. And I'm talking quite biological films that really show what goes on. It is my intention to get very involved in employment rights. For example, it disgusts me that human beings do the same job every day. This will be banned. It makes people moronic, it makes them violent, and this is why we have a very disturbed society. People are not obliged to work. I think that you can drop out of the system, still contribute to society, and just do your own thing. I really mean that. The idea of going to work every day, usually to make somebody richer, remember, you are but a unit. When you die, you will be replaced. Employment, there should be a spiritual dimension to your work. It should be your connection with life. This isn't happening at the moment. And human beings who are doing repetitive work, well, I wouldn't treat a pig like that. Some things I'm going to decide on a whim. Other things I'm going to research. I haven't decided what or when. Another of my concerns is the treatment of the older community, our pensioners. Many of them are living in quite disgusting accommodation in the form of old people's homes, which, as you know, absolutely reek of urine. What I'm advocating is that the old people's homes are staffed by people, say, early to mid-20s. Women, men, whatever, a mixture, and they're all wearing swimwear. I think that if I was in an old people's home and I was served my cocoa by an 18-year-old youth wearing Speedos, I might hold on to life just that little bit longer. The armaments trade, ladies and gentlemen, they are merchants of death, doom and destruction. What I shall be advocating is the absolute dismantlement of the British armaments trade. Where bombs and guns and other munitions are manufactured, those buildings will be converted into social housing for the poor. Imagine, if you will, ladies and gentlemen, a world where boys aren't stabbing each other to death. They're actually admiring each other's acrylic nails. You can get all sorts of lovely designs. You can get one in particular, which is a palm tree in front of a sunset, and it makes a rather attractive acrylic. Boys shouldn't be stabbing each other. They should be helping each other re-gem their acrylic nails. This is the kind of world that I wish to bring forward. And it's a world of harmony, intelligence, tolerance, peace, where we've all gone to, quite consciously, another level. Okay?
This is the time of the revolution.
On the subject of voting, it is, of course, very important and incumbent upon you to vote for me so that I can get into power and effect change. If you don't vote for me, then death and pestilence, damnation and pain will follow and blight this particular geopolitical zone. You will have the upset of watching your children starve. You will have the upset of having to cannibalize your elderly parents in order to eat. To not vote for me means that you don't care, and that in fact you're moribund. If you don't do anything else in your life, vote for me, for I can affect change, and together we can go into the future, hand in hand, and other things in other things.